full commission today. This is great. All right. It is 12:45. We are starting the Commission on Chicago Landmarks. Today's date is Thursday, September 2nd. So I would like to call the meeting to order. I'll do the roll call. If you could, as I call your name, please indicate that you can hear and see me, starting with Commissioner Tolliver.
I can hear and see you.
Thank you, sir. Commissioner Osmond.
I can hear and see you.
Commissioner Hughes.
Present, I can hear and see you.
Thank you. Commissioner Jekowitz.
Present, I can hear and see you.
Thank you. Commissioner Cox.
Yes, I can hear you and see you.
Thank you. Commissioner Ponce.
Hello, I can see and hear you.
All right. Commissioner Geary.
I can see you and hear you.
Okay. And Commissioner Burns.
Hi, I can see and hear you.
Thank you. I am Commissioner Wong. We do have a quorum today. Okay, let's start with the formal stuff. Last year, Governor Pritzker signed Public Act 101-0640, making certain amendments to the Open Meetings Act so that we, along with other boards and commissions, can continue to host virtual meetings during this COVID-19 public health emergency, provided that certain conditions are met. One of those conditions is that I, as head of the Commission on Chicago Landmarks, determined that an in-person meeting of the Commission on Chicago Landmarks and its permit review committee are not practical nor prudent. I want to make sure that our virtual meeting meets all the conditions of the Open Meetings Act as amended. Therefore, I'm making a determination pursuant to Section 7E2 of the Open Meetings Act that an in-person meeting of the Commission on Chicago Landmarks and its permit review committee is not practical or prudent. Similarly, I'm also making the determination pursuant to Section 7E5 that because of the disaster as declared by the governor, it's unfeasible for at least one member of the Commission on Chicago Landmarks or its chief administrative officer or its chief legal officer to be physically present at the meeting place for either meeting. Pursuant to a resolution adopted by the Commission on Chicago Landmarks on June 4th, 2020, regarding the chairman's emergency rulemaking powers, I issued emergency rules governing the conduct of remote public commission meetings and provisions for remote public participation effective January 19th, 2021. These rules were posted on the Commission's website. In line with these emergency rules, today's regular Commission meeting is a virtual meeting being simulcast to the general public via live stream. Commission meetings have been held virtually since May of last year. Meetings are structured to minimize the chances for technical difficulties. Members of the general public have been encouraged to submit written statements in advance of the meeting, and these have been posted on the Commission's website and are available for the public view during the virtual meeting at www.chicago.gov/CCL. Members of the public desiring to speak at today's meeting were required to register before the meeting, and verbal statements by the public for all agenda items will take place at the beginning of the meeting. Applicants and their representatives, as well as aldermen, were asked to contact staff if they desired to speak, and they'll be able to do so after the staff presentation on a specific project. No members of the general public signed up to speak, so we'll proceed with the agenda. So the first item is the approval of the minutes of the previous meeting. That was a regular meeting on August 5th, 2021. You should have had that in your package and reviewed that. So therefore, I would like to ask for a motion to approve those minutes.
I make a motion.
All right, Commission motion made by Tolliver and second by Hughes. All in favor? We'll start with that. I'll say aye. I'm not going to do the roll call.
Aye.
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 And anybody disapprove? Having none, the motion carries. The second item, excuse me, on today's agenda is the preliminary landmark recommendation for the Little Village Arch at 3100 West 26th Street. On this is the 12th ward, and Alderman George Cardenas. That's his ward. Matt Crawford, if you could tell us what's going on.
Thank you, Chairman Wong. Can you hear me?
We sure can.
Great. Commissioners, some of you who were here in 2019 will recall that in March of that year, the Commission adopted a context statement for community streetscape markers. And as you know, historic contexts are the foundation of preservation planning. This 2019 context statement narrates the relatively recent history of community streetscape markers that convey a neighborhood's social or ethnocultural heritage. The context statement also identifies 3 examples of community streetscape markers in Chicago that reflect this historic context, which may be eligible for Chicago landmark designation. The first is the twin steel gateway flags from 1995 at either end of Division Street, called Paseo Boricua, which represents Chicago's Puerto Rican community. The second example is the 20 rainbow pylons along North Halsted Street from 1998 that celebrate Chicago's LGBTQ community. And as you know, these were designated in 2019. And finally, the arch on 26th Street in Little Village, which was built in 1990 to recognize Chicago's Mexican-American community. So for your consideration today is a preliminary landmark recommendation for the Little Village Arch, which spans West 26th Street. With its Bienvenidos a Little Village sign, the arch identifies the cultural and social heritage of the Latino community in Chicago in general, and more specifically, the Mexican community of Little Village. To orient you, the arch is located about 5 miles southwest of the Loop in the South Lawndale community area and the Little Village neighborhood. Staff believes that the arch meets 3 criteria for Chicago landmark designation, including Criterion 1 for heritage. The Little Village Arch marks the beginning of a 2-mile stretch of West 26th Street, which runs west from the arch to Costner Avenue. Though many of the buildings on West 26th Street were built prior to the neighborhood becoming Latino, the arch identifies the living heritage and culture of the community. Here are a few images of West 26th Street, which is the commercial and cultural heart of Little Village. On top of caring for this historic Chicago neighborhood, the community has added and preserved its own significant layer of culture and traditions there through language, food, and murals. The designation also meets Criterion 4 as a unique work of architecture in Chicago. Here are a few images of the arch under construction in 1990. The idea of the arch is attributed to then Alderman, now Congressman Chuy Garcia, and both the City of Chicago and the Little Village Chamber of Commerce contributed to its construction. Soon after it was completed, then President of Mexico, Carlos Salinas, visited Chicago, which has the 2nd largest Mexican community in the United States. He spoke at a rally of around 2,000 Little Village residents near the newly completed arch. As a gift to the city, Salinas presented a bronze clock manufactured by Relojes Centenario, the oldest clockmaker in Mexico. It was installed in the crown of the arch and has faces on both the east and west sides of the arch. The arch resembles the arch entrances found in Mexican colonial architecture, as shown here. The arch gateway is a distinctive feature of the Capilla Abierta, or open chapels, built in Mexico in the 16th century for the missions. Arch gateways are also found in Mexican towns that were walled, such as Mérida. While no longer serving as a control point, these gateways survive in these Mexican towns and are a distinct feature of the landscape. Similar arch gateways are found in Mexican haciendas, large estates dedicated to farming and manufacturing. With its clay tile roof, stucco towers, and domed roofs, and tiled span, the Little Village Arch exhibits materials and design details that are typically found in Mexico. It is unique in Chicago, and it may be the only such example north of the Rio Grande River. We believe the arch also meets Criterion 5 for its association with artist and architect Adrian Lozano. The arch was designed by Lozano, a Chicago artist and architect of Mexican descent, whose career has not yet been well documented. Despite that lack of documentation, we do know that in addition to the arch, Lozano contributed to 2 other buildings treasured by the Mexican-American community in Chicago, both in Pilsen. The first is the Benito Juarez Community Academy, where Lozano served as the architect of record in 1977. The massing of the building and its sloped walls evokes pre-Hispanic temples, and the design stands as the only example of neo-Aztecismo architecture in Chicago. The second significant building designed by Lozano is the National Museum of Mexican Art, also in Pilsen. Here, Lozano designed the adaptive reuse of a former Park District natatorium building into a space for fine art. The geometric frieze is inspired by pre-Columbian architecture from archaeological finds at Mitla, Mexico. Lozano was also a significant artist. At age 20, in 1941, he painted this mural titled "The Progress of Mexico," which was located inside the Benito Juarez Club Room at Hull House. Though the work and the building no longer survives, it is significant as the first manifestation of Mexican muralism in Chicago, a movement that continues to thrive in the city. In addition to the landmark criteria, the arch also meets the separate integrity criterion. It remains in its original location, and the neighborhood commercial street setting has changed little since it was built. It has been repaired in 2012, when missing roof tiles were replaced and a reddish granite base was replaced with limestone. The clock has also been repaired. Over 3 decades, Little Village Arch has continued to convey its historic community and aesthetic values. In the context statement that I referenced at the beginning of this presentation, there are additional criteria that a community streetscape marker should possess in order to be considered for landmark designation. And those are that the object or feature employ the use of symbolism or imagery that is significant and or reflects a certain social, ethnic, or cultural group. It's not merely a mark of neighborhood name or street name. Obviously, it must also be visible from the public way. And finally, the work must be an original art or architecture designed by an artist or architect. It's not a stock piece or a prefabricated component. We believe that the arch in the village meets these objectives. Finally, the Little Village Arch is located in the 12th Ward, and Alderman Cardenas has expressed his support for this proposal, as does the Chicago Department of Transportation, which is responsible for maintaining the arch. Staff recommends that significant features be identified as all elevations, including roofline of the arch. You have a preliminary landmark recommendation to that effect. Should the commission vote to approve and City Council approve this designation, it would be the first recognition of the Latino community in Chicago in terms of landmark designation. It'll also be the first work by an architect of Mexican descent who would be receiving landmark designation. So potential very important firsts here. I'm available to answer any questions. I believe Alderman Cardenas is here as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Matt. Does the commission have any questions of Matt at this time? I had a real quick question, Matt, regarding the, so the last restoration effort was in 2012? Is
That's
that what
right.
you said? Okay,
Yeah.
and then what are the domes made out of?
Sheet metal.
Okay. And were those also, was that part of the restoration?
I don't believe so. I think the focus of that restoration was the clay tile of the
Okay.
span.
Okay.
We do know that CDOT is undertaking a condition assessment of this, of the arch, and that will inform another round of repairs.
Okay. Are there representatives from CDOT here right now? I saw that Dan Burke was supposed to be here. Okay. Any other questions? I don't see any hands right now. Alderman Cardenas, would you like to say something?
Yes, thank you, Chairman. First of all, I want to thank the commission for presenting this to the body. and also to the city and also to the village. This is an important symbol for our community, and this is the first step of many that I hope we begin to not just feel good about ourselves and the things that are going on in the Mexican community, but the symbol that it's been there since its inception really symbolizes many more things. Right now, the arch is in need of some love, and so I'm working with CDOT not just to do the assessment, but also to come up with a maintenance plan and also the funding of that maintenance, that for going forward, it could be done on an annual basis. But this shines a light in so many ways, and you saw the presentation, the vibrancy of our community and what it means to us, what it means to the Mexican community to have something like that. You obviously appreciate that it's a landmark, that once you pass it, authorize, it'll be a landmark that we can be proud of, and also we can work. The work begins anew to kind of shed some love to it and improve it, and just to have it be a place of gathering, in a sign of hope, a symbol of hope for the many people that come here. It's a point of entry for Mexicans, as you know, and others in the commission know. So I pretty much welcome the commission doing this. It's the gateway. I think has many sponsors over the years. Now Congressman Chuy Garcia, obviously, and many others. The chamber has a part of it. There's Little Village Community Council. It's part of that. But what this does is it allows us to formalize the who and the what in a big way. So we're going to get to work on seeing somebody responsible for the maintenance, as it is not right now really formalized. So I appreciate everybody's vote on this, and thank you for the great presentation. My community really appreciates it, loves it, and thanks you for paying attention to us. Thank you.
Thank you, Alderman. Does the commission have any questions for Alderman Cardenas? Oh, that's okay. Commissioner Hughes, let me start with you.
I thank you so much, Alderman, for your comments. And this is 2021, and I'm shocked that this is the first, Mexican architect project that's coming before us to get landmarked, because this is 2021. So we obviously have a long way to go on our city and becoming more equitable in landmarking and preservation. And it starts today, right? It starts here. It starts with you guys. And I feel the pride. I feel, the support illuminating from the screen and from the community, the comments, the read up that we got in our package of this. And I'm excited and overly in support of this, and hope that there's more projects of this nature to come. And also I do want to say too that I'm excited that we're moving beyond just buildings, and we are stepping into the realm of landmarking cultural components of people's communities that really represent and reflect them. So I'm so proud and honored to be a commissioner today and in support of a project like this. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank
you. Commissioner Aguirre.
Thank you, Chairman. I'm equally excited. I just want to second, not repeat what Commissioner Hughes said, just second it, echo it. I'm very excited that elements of our not only historical identity, but items that help us to reinforce what are we proud about in our communities that are in direct relationship with the built environment are being elevated. If the Landmarks Commission can contribute and help to elevate that, I'm proud also to be part of that. Also, I'm excited about other architects, designers, cultural producers from the Latinx community to be elevated. So I'm just, thrilled that this is presented today, and obviously, and I'm a great supporter of this proposal.
Thank you, Commissioner Aguirre. Commissioner Ponce.
Oh, I'm not on mute. Yes, I would like to agree with fellow commissioners. This is really exciting because this is a place where, my kids and I go, my family go for peace rallies, for 5Ks, and for the parade. So they, this is such a sense of pride. And to know that, like what Commissioner Hughes said, this is the first Mexican architect to be recognized in such a significant way. It's so positive because representation does matter for kids who want to pursue a career in architecture. And so this is a wonderful example. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Ponce. Commissioner Cox.
Yeah, thank you. And that was a fantastic presentation. To put it in context, and I am thrilled that we can recognize cultural contribution of the Mexican American community, particularly designers who don't often get highlighted. So this was a bit of a history lesson for us all. I also, knowing our efforts, whether it be larger historic districts like Pilsen, or the individual efforts like the Emmett Till House, the idea of possibly continuing the flow of these sites of cultural memory that are small but impactful. This one happens to be in a highly visible location, but one way to build greater support for architectural and cultural preservation is to get our community accustomed to these smaller designations. So, while sometimes it's hard to leap from nothing to hundreds of buildings, another strategy is to just have a continual presentation of singular buildings as single designations to build up the capacity of the community to be seen and to embrace this. So I think, the designation of this gateway may be pointing to a direction by which we can be more successful in broadening the cultural representation in our city. So this, for me, triggers how many other buildings are there out there that could be recognized, or cultural markers that could be recognized as a way to kind of make amend for the oversight that has been now decades in the making. So this is a very, very strong case. Looking forward to supporting it, and I'm looking forward to seeing more and more of them coming before this commission.
Thank you, Commissioner Cox. Commissioner Burns.
Thank you. I want to first and foremost say thank you to the community of Little Village and the aldermen for just the love and care that you have demonstrated for this beautiful site, and to say how proud I am in I think it's been a year and a half maybe only that I've been on the Landmarks Commission, to echo Commissioner Cox's statement, the steady drumbeat of communities who have been missing or underrepresented in landmark designations, that they just keep coming. And I couldn't be prouder to be a part of the commission. And finally, I agree with everything that my fellow commissioners have said. Commissioner Hughes, you were incredibly eloquent in opening this up, so thank you. And all the other comments. This is a really terrific day, and I'm so proud to be a part of a group that is advancing this project and bringing, I hope, a wonderful spotlight on the beauty of the Little Village community and the Mexican American community in Chicago.
Thank you, Commissioner Burns. Commissioner Jekowitz.
Thank you. I'll be brief, but everyone said some wonderful things, and I'm in agreement with everything that everyone said. It's great to see this recommendation come before us. It's unique for us, and this is truly a Chicago icon. I believe that serves as a gateway and a symbol of pride for for the neighborhood La Villita, and it deserves to be a Chicago landmark. So I'm super proud to be a part to see this come before us. Thanks.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Osman.
I'm just going to echo what everybody said. They've all been so eloquent, but I just want to add that we'll make sure that this is a landmark designation as part of Open House Chicago in October so that we can share it with the rest of Chicago.
Love it. Thank you, Commissioner Osman. Okay, if there are no more comments, I would like to call for a motion to adopt the preliminary landmark recommendation for the Little Village Arch.
Chairman.
Commissioner Hughes makes that motion.
Hold on. I do make the motion, but hold on. I do have a question. Sorry. I wanted to know, are there funding tools coming in the near future to help contribute to efforts like this that don't necessarily fall in the community or commercial or building scale, and also don't fall in as a building, like for instance, would Adopt a Landmark expand its its range of what projects can apply, for instance, in the future? Because I think something like this is so important. The Alderman made some great points about wanting that longevity and keeping with the upkeep. And I wanted to know if there's any funding tools available, or is that in a pipeline or discussions for creating something like that for support?
Thank you, Commissioner Hughes. From the landmarks standpoint, Adopt a Landmark is our tool. And Alderman Cardenas, maybe you could speak to some of the other things. I know that in a lot of other communities, the SSAs are also contribute to some of the maintenance things that go on in different communities. And Alderman, let me put you on the spot for this.
Not a problem. I'm glad that Commissioner Hughes did mention it and was eloquent in the beginning. Like I said, great first step is to landmark, give the importance, highlight the cultural importance and the architectural importance as well. But we haven't had the second phase of it yet. I think understanding or looking at the funding mechanism to be able to maintain it. One of the problems that we've had for the Arch is that no organization really controlled it. No organization had funding to be able to do the upkeep. So we always had to kind of do some patching and get some other folks involved in order to pay for, for the maintenance or for fixing the clock, if you will. We had to bring the engineer from Mexico, all the way from Mexico to be able to fix a couple of things in the Arch. Because of the significance of the architecture, we didn't want to mess with it unless it was someone that was professional and was going to do the way it should be. Going forward, I am working with CDOT because it should be funding identified. I mean, landmarking it is awesome, and I think you guys are again doing a wonderful job in this case. And then what myself. What I need to do, and other aldermen or folks that are in that seat advocating for communities, is to then sit down with folks and then look at where do we draw the funding from? Is it menu money? Is it in a TIF? It could be done from different sources. The SSAs are part of it. The SSAs do the on the ground landscaping of it surrounding the arch. But the structural piece of it, they do not touch, and it's a different mechanism for that, a different funding mechanism, because it's hard dollars, if you will. If it's just landscaping, it's flowers and so forth, it's easy money to get it from the SSA, and they can do that, but not if it requires thousands and thousands of dollars to shore up the columns, for example, and then do the maintenance up on top. And it does require, I would say, a yearly minimum of at least $25,000 to do the things that they need to be done, painted, and so forth. And there's a couple columns that are coming loose. But again, that's a conversation for me in CDOT. I'm just excited that you guys are asking the questions, because it's going to really it's probably going to be applicable to other landmarks as well that you guys do. This like talk about the funding, talk about like how, you know, we love to do this for you, but do you have a funding mechanism to keep this great thing going? And so that's a good question, and I think that we ought to be looking on the other side of the coin with the city. And we're going to do that. We're going to get to it. We're going to figure it out. And but we're going to be talking about what you guys did today for a long time, because that starts a conversation and it pushes us to be humble, nimble, and effective, and all of the things that community is asking for. So thank you.
Thank you, Alderman. Deanna, you had an answer for us.
Yes, Commissioner, thank you. I just wanted to add to the conversation just to say that as a landmark that's designated as a structure, it would qualify for the Adopt a Landmark if there is a project to do, you know, a restoration of it, major repairs and such. And as you know, every year we have an application round. The department might establish particular funding priorities, but it does not stop every designated landmark from applying for the grant.
Excellent,
you,
excellent
Deanna.
news.
I'm sorry, just the follow-up. Who would be the applicant in a case like that? Who would be the applicant for an Adopt a Landmark in this particular case?
I would assume that CDOT would, because my understanding would be as the structure is located in the public way, that they may be ultimately considered the owners, or the city might be.
Great. I have a feeling an application will be coming our way soon.
That's what I want to hear.
Yeah, but I've also seen CDOT team up with like chambers of commerce to do, you know, to do stuff like that. So it's a combination of not just the city, but also folks from the community that you know, bring it that ownership as well. And I think the alderman is really trying to you know, get that together. If there are no more questions, there is a motion on the table by Commissioner Hughes. I'm sorry, Commissioner Burns, you had your hand up.
Thank you. Just a quick suggestion to the alderman and perhaps Commissioner Cox as well. Maybe there's a unique opportunity here, thinking about maintenance and long-term funding, to look at support collaboratively between CDOT and the Department of Cultural Affairs and Special Events, because of the unique nature of this structure. And we do have support for public art throughout the city, and particularly the cultural significance of this site. It's just perhaps an opportunity to explore that could help, where we could share the cost across departments for something that's so important.
See, there you go. We're not only a landmarks commissioner, we're also problem solvers. Here we go. Wow, thanks for that.
You got to do it all.
Commissioner. There you go. Okay, the motion is on the table, but from Commissioner Hughes, is there a second?
Second, Commissioner Aguirre.
Thank you, Commissioner Aguirre. I'm going to do the roll call here. Commissioner Tolliver.
Yes.
Commissioner Cox.
Yes.
Commissioner Osmond.
Yes.
Commissioner Jekowitz.
Yes.
Commissioner Ponce.
Yes.
Commissioner Burns.
Enthusiastic, yes.
And I am a yes also. This is unanimous. The motion carries. Thank you very much. Good luck to you. And this is a great day for the Little Village community.
Thank you all.
Yes. Is there a comment? Okay. Wonderful. The third item on the agenda, this is a short meeting, is a permit review committee reports. Where am I? Why am I? Oh, and that I'm going to call in Commissioner Aguirre for that report, please.
Thank you, Chairman Long. The Permit Review Committee reviewed 5 projects at its August 5th of 2021 meeting. All 5 projects were approved with conditions. The report summarizing the scope of the proposed projects and the committee's decision was included in your packets, and this report is for your information and for the record.
Thank you, Commissioner. And Larry, do you have a report for us?
I do. For the month of August, staff reviewed 156 permit applications. 7 of these applications relate to projects reviewed by the Permit Review Committee. A total of 167 reviews were performed by staff. The average number of days to issue the approval or corrections was 2.5 days. Staff also reviewed 7 sign applications during that time.
Thank you, Larry. Does the commission have any questions for Larry? Is that 167? That seems to be quite a few. Is that average? Is that above average? Where are we?
You know, it's a little bit lower than average for this time of year, actually.
Okay, interesting. All right, good to know. That's a lot of permits to go through. All right, announcements. The program committee's review of suggestions were received from the public for Chicago landmark designation, and nominations to the National Register of Historic Places will be held on Wednesday, September 22nd at 10 o'clock a.m. at City Hall, room 1103. In the event that a gubernatorial disaster declaration is in effect on September 22nd, finding that an in-person meeting is not feasible, attendance at this meeting will change from an in-person to remote means only. If this happens, instructions on how to access the meeting will be provided on the Commission of Chicago Landmarks website at www.chicago.gov/CCL. Deadline for the submissions is Wednesday, September 15th, 2021. All suggestions must be submitted on a suggestion form available at the Chicago Landmarks website at chicago.gov/DPD. Before we adjourn, I'd like to take a minute to announce that Commissioner Aguirre will be moving on. So this is our last commission meeting. Commissioner Aguirre joined the commission in November of 2019, and we'd like to thank her for her service to the commission and especially stepping up to chair the Permit Review Committee. Commissioner Aguirre, you have been so wonderful, and you have been absolutely just a great asset to this commission. We will sorely miss you. We will deeply miss you, but we wish you all the best, and we're so happy for you in your new endeavors. And so I'd like to also open it up to other commissioners.
I for one will be sorry to not have you with us, Commissioner Aguirre. I've really enjoyed watching your thinking process as you're reviewing and your comments, which are always so thoughtful. So we will miss you.
I'd like to say how much I've enjoyed listening to you and learning from you, Commissioner Aguirre, and the passion that you have brought to the commission it's just palpable, even on the Zoom screen. It's a bummer that you're moving on for us, but excited for you. And so I just wish you the very best for everything that comes next. And I really hope our paths continue to cross.
Yes, and I agree with the fellow commissioners, and I personally feel gypped because I've only seen you on a virtual platform. I'm the newest one here, so but the time that we've been here, just as Commissioner Burns said, your passion comes out, you know, even in this virtual platform. So of course, wish you the best of luck in your next endeavor.
Commissioner Aguirre, I will have to pile on here. I feel that it's been all too brief. I think we came on this commission more or less together, and I, take great pride in how commissions like this are a collection of individuals who find a degree of alignment and ability to elevate and amplify what our colleagues are feeling. And I've often felt your contribution has helped guide the commission to a far more inclusive conversation, pushing the envelope in what we do here. And so the balance of the commission will be a little off without your voice. We're going to have to find a way to shore up, to continue to build the narrative, which, you know, as I think I've made it clear, this is one of my favorite commissions to be on, and largely because of contributions like yours. So we wish you well. You know you will be missed. And now we have to somehow fill the shoes. So that's a good sign that you've left the mark when people are trying to figure out how to make up for the fact that your voice won't be amongst us. So thank you so much for your contribution, for setting a tone.
I've enjoyed listening to your theoretical and conceptual perspectives that reveal the finest minds that come out of the Harvard Graduate School of Design. And I hope that you will continue to convene fora as you've done in your capacity as an alumna of HDSD, so that others can continue to hear your perspectives.
Commissioner Jekowitz?
Yes. Yes. So I just want to say that Commissioner Aguirre, it's been an honor serving with you, and I feel like it's been definitely it feels way too short, and most of it was virtual, but I did have the honor of working with you in person as well. So your voice is your voice and insight will be missed. So I wish you the best in your future endeavor.
And I just wanted to add before we adjourn, really, you know, I've been around this commission for a long time. And it's just your steadfastness, your inclusiveness, and your fairness has really been outstanding. And we really appreciate that. Commissioner Hughes.
I'm sorry, guys. You know, we came in this experience together, Black and brown women perspectives brought to the commission. And I just remember us not having a clue, okay? Bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, eager to learn. And throughout time, you know, even if we disagreed on cases, you know, we always respected one another's opinions and perspectives, because we knew that it was always in the city's and in our community's best interests. And that's always been like at the forefront of our hearts. Commissioner Aguirre, you will always be my commish sister. And I will always, you know, continue to channel your braveness and your boldness to speak about what's right. Thank you so much for your selfless service. You're so inspiring, and I'm always kind of checked in to listening to your opinion and the perspective that you bring, because again, it's a unique one, and it's one that this commission and many other commissions need. And so please look forward to random calls and random check-ins as you go on into your new ventures.
Thank you, Commissioner.
I'm going to do a quick wrap up and say, Commissioner Gary, I still have your hat from the last meeting we had in the winter in person that you left behind. So we have to figure out when I can return that. It's sitting in my office.
I don't think she's going to need that winter hat down in San Antonio, but.
That's true. If I may just say a few things, I really appreciate the words. I cannot express like my gratitude for multiple things here, for the space, the opportunity to be part of this commission. If you know me personally or professionally, you know that I'm very passionate about public service, and I think this is something that I try to carry through my multiple hats. You know, we all need to be generous with our communities and our cities, and serving for me is one of those opportunities and privileges that I take a lot of pride on. I think I was able to share with you this little publication where I had the opportunity to write about one of the cases that got me inspired to get more involved with the Commission of Landmarks, the Prentice Hospital as a big kind of case study for me in understanding how do we tell the story of preservation in a way that it's not an either or, and how do we tell the story, how do we share the story of the value of preservation with our communities, that it has so many gray scales to it. So I'm thankful for all the productive discussions that we had here. I'm really thankful for all the guidance, Chairman Wong and former Chairman Rafael Leon, that, the patience and the guidance and being there. I'm grateful for all of you being in this space, Commissioner Ponce, Jajkovic, Tolliver, Osman, Commissioner Cox, Commissioner Hughes, Commissioner Burns, commissioners. I'm really thankful for sharing this space. And last but not least, thank you so much to the staff. I think all of them do impeccable work. I'm really impressed. I can speak very highly to the Division of Preservation, everyone, Diana, Kendaline, Larry, Joyce, Matt, Michael, Emily. You are a really strong pillar for this commission and for us to deliver our work and our service in a competent and generous way. So thank you, everyone. Chairman Wong, thank you for believing on my leadership. I learn a lot. I think I learn in an expedite way how to navigate leading the permit review. So I'm thankful for that opportunity as well. And yeah, I love Chicago. I think our office, our practice expansion into a new state is going to be fascinating, but we are definitely staying connected and continue working in Chicago. So thank you, everyone, for this time and opportunity.
Thank you, Commissioner Gary. And I'd like you to request a motion to adjourn this meeting.
Please, so move.
Is there a second?
I second Commissioner Osmond.
The second by Commissioner Osmond. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
And nobody opposed it. The Permit Review Committee will begin. Commissioner Gary, it's your call.
I want to say in 10 minutes, would that be 1:40? Is 1:45 okay? Can I get a confirmation from our tech support?
Yes, that'll be perfect.
1:45, Commissioner, see you. And thank you very much.
Thank you, Commissioner Gary. Okay, bye, folks.